Rolls back a little more, right?
Big schnoz on him. All right, welcome back, Dan, Mike. Thanks for coming. I know you're a busy guy right now.
Thanks for having me. Really appreciate it. I only came for the coffee, though.
This is just Lisa's podcast when you get here.
It is. Fucking props. And it was Sobeys coffee, eh?
I might have lied to you. I don't know if it's actually Sobeys coffee, but it's just Sobeys Superstore, one or the other.
One of them.
Costco, maybe.
There you go, Nancy. Sobeys or Superstore. Next time you're there, which will probably be in about 40 minutes because you go twice a day.
You drink coffee every morning?
Do I?
Yeah.
I've gotten into the swing of things with that, yeah. I was never a coffee guy till about a year ago when I was coaching Valley.
Yeah. There you go.
I was getting up at like 5:30 in the morning. Started taking a toll, so started getting into the coffee, man.
Could you drink a coffee like before bed?
I am. I don't know how it works. I never took those types of courses or anything, but my receptors got to be shot. I could dummy a couple Pepsis and a bunch of sweets before bed. Oh, yeah? I'd say like 11:30, I could go to sleep at 12, no problem.
Did you find that when you were 26 though? Did you drink coffee and all that Pepsi when you were 26, 27?
I never drank coffee until about a year ago. But when I was younger, I took a whack of shit like caffeine pills and ephedrine and all that. So I'm pretty sure that's what killed the receptors there. I don't know though. Why
the coffee the past year?
Just when I was getting up, I was coaching, right? Like I said, I was getting up early, right? So I was getting up early and I was just taking it soul. I was getting up 5:30 and going to sleep like 12, 1 o'clock. And like I was dead in the morning and driving up to the Valley. I wanted to stay awake, right? Didn't want to crash into anything and, leave everyone behind crying while I was gone. So.
All right, so we're gonna start this. I don't even feel comfortable asking you, but you're gonna have I don't even know if you'll have a reaction. It's kind of funny.
All right, here we go.
There is what's the correct pronunciation? Not midget, dwarf. There's a dwarf in Alberta who says that the pronunciation of midget hockey is offending people. So apparently there's a group of dwarfs in Alberta that get together at the local church, I'm assuming, and they're trying to get together.
Is the pastor Snow White?
That's a good, I never thought of that. Anyways, they're trying to get together and they're talking to Hockey Alberta to get rid of the term midget hockey. What do you think of that? How soft are we as a generation?
I think it's ridiculous. There's no other word for it. It's just ridiculous. I heard something about this the other day on the radio while I was probably going to the library. But I really didn't clue in. But yeah, it's got to be it. I don't know, man.
You don't have to comment on it. I just wanted to.
I don't give a shit. I think just as a society, I think I touched on it last time I was here. It's it's creeping its way into everything. I think I said last time, we can't say, black coffee, white rice, something like that. It's if you really wanted to dissect everything that people say, you'd find something wrong with it. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, I understand, in the 40s, you could get away with certain things, and in the 80s, you could get away with certain things that you can't get away with now. But still, we don't have to, change over, our verbiage, or the way we act, the way we talk. And, if it's derogatory and you're saying inappropriate things, and that's one thing, but for something as little as midget hockey that's been around, what next? Like, everybody named Adam is going to sue for copyrights. You can't have Adam hockey either, And
I was thinking Pee-wee too. Like, if you call someone Pee-wee, that's kind of bullying. You little Pee-wee or something like
Pee-wee
that.
Herman, nobody wants to be referred to as Pee-wee Herman, right?
I don't know if you heard this, but around here there was you didn't want to call it house because you go to school, what do you play? House. Kids get offended. It's like, oh, I play house, so they changed it to double B. Still no hitting, still thinks it's just called double B. So the term house it's looked down upon.
Soft, man. It's a problem. And I think, the younger generation is the one that's going to feel the wrath of this. I think you see all of the, the X-gens and older that are, they're the ones that are shaking their heads going, holy shit, right? But, the same thing you see with your grandparents and stuff like that, the stuff that, my generation was getting away with, they're like, oh, that wouldn't have happened. So I guess it's,
what do you mean? What do you mean by that?
It's all relative.
What do you mean getting away with what?
Well, let's say not really getting away with, but grandparents that, when I walked, 6 kilometers to school, I didn't complain, that we're taking the bus and now, 20 years, people are going to be fucking zipping a button and just flying to school, right? So just in a relative term with regards to, the way that men could talk to women 60 years ago was a lot different than they could 20 years ago, and is a lot different than the way they can now, right? So that's justified. I think that equality and human rights, they play into it, and it's definitely, you have to have respect for everybody. But at the same time, when it comes down to, midget and peewee, and like, that's just, I know you don't want to say it's a derogatory term, because I'm sure there are people out there that would, take it and receive it as a derogatory term. But that's been around for a long time, man. It's just that's like I said, what color paint's that going to be on your blinds in a couple years? Is it going to be referred to as white, or is there going to be a group of white people that are going to be offended by the term white paint and white rice and fucking white clouds? And it's just getting ridiculous. It's out of hand, and I don't think it's going to stop. But
I wonder if mainstream media plays these stories because they know it'll get a reaction out of the public. Because essentially showing a story like that where a dwarf person in Alberta is upset that a hockey league is called midget is irrelevant. You and I know it. My parents know it. Every single person in Nova Scotia, well, maybe not every person, but most of us think it's a joke. And I wonder if mainstream media plays these things just to rattle people like you and I. You know
what? Maybe imagine that. Let's fuck with the high button today.
Well, you know what I mean.
Like, let's fuck with the high button. Let's stir up some midget talk here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? No, you know what? Maybe it has something to do with the whole, like, Instagram and all this social media shit going on. Everybody's wanting to get their 10 minutes of fame. You know what I mean? You see these girls that are 18, 19 years old that have these accounts that show them with underwear up their ass cracks and tits halfway hanging out, and they've got like 25, 30,000 followers. It's just a bunch of pervs. I mean, not one of them. And, just checking out their Instagram profiles. Yeah. And you see guys in the show or Major League Baseball having like 15 grand.
Yeah.
Like, there's something wrong with that. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, but that's acceptable. You know what I mean? That's acceptable, but you can't say midget hockey. Or maybe in a couple years.
I never thought of that.
You know what I mean?
That's an interesting.
I don't know, man. It's just, maybe everyone's just trying to get a little piece of the pie. Getting their 10 minutes of fame. Maybe dude out in dwarf out in Alberta, has got 25 friggin' Instagram followers and he wants to up that up. Who knows?
It's funny you bring up social media. If you don't mind me asking, what's the plan with your children and the cell phone and the iPads and things like that?
Well, like we with our kids, we have an iPad. It doesn't always work all the time. It's been dropped quite a few times, but when it does work, they've got like some educational games on that and stuff like that, and they don't use it every day, nowhere near every day. But we found that if we give it to my oldest Tanner, he's 6. We give it to him for like 10 minutes. My youngest guy, Jax, my middle guy, Jax, he'll be in there. He'll just be looking over. He'll be wanting to play the whole time, but we'll have to go, okay, 10 minutes now, then 10 minutes for you, right? Yeah. And then by the end of that, they're like, I want more. But so if we give it to them a couple days in a row, it's just, it's a frenzy. They want it consistently, right? But if you take it away, you just, out of sight, out of mind with kids, especially, right? Yeah. So I don't know. I can't even remember the last time they've been on it, but, the only time usually that we'll let them get away with playing some games or something like that, as if we're, at some type of event where, you got to keep them busy and occupied and stuff like that, right? So
see, what I worry about is the generation right now that's in their basement playing, Fortnite in their basement for 12 hours a day. I'm worried about their kids. Like, thank God that you and I, we're athletic individuals. Right. When we already have a kid, but when I have a kid, I'll make sure that they're out and about and they're doing things. But I'm worried about the generation of kids, like I said, in the basement that are going to have kids and then, they're never going to see the light of day. I used to have a job, and I talked to the janitor, believe it or not. I love that guy. I forget his name though. And he had a kid who was just obsessed with these video games. And the rule in the house was you have to run around the block 20 times in 1 week. It doesn't matter. You can do the 20 laps in one day, or you can split it up 2 laps a day, whatever the math is there.
That'd only be 14 though.
14? Yeah. Sure. But that I like that rule. It's like you got to get out and you got to run around.
For sure. Yeah. No, I agree. Yeah. It's I don't know, man. It's societies. It's a different bird these days, right? And that's where I think, You know, it's tough because, you know, I got the shit whooped out of me when I was a kid, but, you know, I don't do that to my kids. But at the same time, I don't want my kids growing up to be candy asses either. You know what I mean? So there's a fine line between, you know, not whipping your kids and letting them get away with murder, right?
Yeah.
No pun intended there. But, you know, it's difficult. It really is. At times, you know, you just sit back there and I'll walk away and I'm like, well, you know, now I know why I was whooped on. You know, I could definitely give, you know, Tanner or Jax, especially Jax, demon, cuff in the back of the head, but, you know, you just don't do it. But then if you don't, you know, if you're not stern, you're not, you know, you're not consistent with discipline and stuff like that, then they'll just run havoc, right?
Did you read any parenting books?
I think we had like that parent book, what's it called, like, fuck, I don't
Why are you
fucking
asking
know.
me?
Lisa. No, what was that book, how to, like, when you're pregnant or some shit, like what to expect when expecting or something like that, right? So I know Nancy read that the first time, and then I might have read a couple pages or something like that. I just winged it, man, like everything, right? I winged everything.
Tell me the truth, did you ever lie and say you read the books?
Oh, no, she knows what I want. But she knows, yeah.
Right on. Yeah, so who was on the ice the other day at the Metro Center? Jax?
Oh, Tanner.
Was that you on the ice as well?
Yeah, that was me. Yeah.
How bad did you just want to dangle some kids and just show off?
Yeah, I was talking to Paul beforehand, the other parent there.
Yeah.
I just said, okay, the deal is we get out there, we're just going to take the puck and play keep away. He was like, that's a good plan. I thought that'd be pretty solid.
I would have done the exact same thing.
I guarantee you, I'd probably get as many boos if I did that like I did the last time I was playing in the Moose Center for the Memorial Cup there.
What happened there? I forgot
was a
that.
Bastard.
But what happened? I was too young.
Well,
I don't know.
we opened the tournament and we lost to so this was in 2000. You guys had you probably weren't even born yet. Fuck.
No, I was born 90. I was born 2000.
2000. You guys had Ramsey Abid, Brandon Reed, and Patrick Lalime.
Brandon Reed was my guy. Like,
okay,
love that guy.
Yeah, and they you guys, the Moose, they were hosting, but they got eliminated in the first round, so they had to wait like a full month to play again, right? Because they were hosting, they got eliminated in the first round.
Yeah.
So, anyways, Rimouski ended up winning, right? So it was us, it was Barrie, Rimouski, Halifax, and the dub team I want to say was Kootenay, I think. I don't know, I can't remember. But anyways, we opened up the tournament and Halifax, we had a 5-on-3 against us, like first 3 minutes of the game. It was just a couple bullshit calls, but you know, whatever. And you know, I think Abid had a clapper from the point, and there was another goal. He might even had two, right? So, but we lost. I think we lost like 5-2 or 5-3 the opening game. Yeah. And then we ended up playing the Moose in the semifinals, and we ended up beating the Moose in the semis. And then you know, I got one of the stars of the game, so we got like little Esquire watches, and I caused a lot of shit at the beginning of the tournament, right? Like saying that, who was it? Abid and Brad Richards, they wouldn't last in the OHL. And
you said that in the papers?
Oh yeah. I said like Brad Richards wouldn't last 5 minutes in the OHL, and Ramsey Abid couldn't fucking tie my skates or some shit like that. I was just starting shit, and then so like the fans hated me right from the get go. And
did you like that though?
I loved it.
Yeah.
And then so when I got the watch, I just, you know, there was a bunch of boos, and I got it up, and I was just pointing up, and I was like blowing kisses to the fans and showing them my watch, and fucking dudes here started throwing bottles of Aquafina at me while I was on the ice starting to skate off. So I picked up my pace a little bit, didn't want to get walloped with a bottle in the head. But yeah, there's a couple rambunctious fans there. It's probably Steiny up in the stands throwing bottles at me or something like that, right? But no, yeah. So then we went on to play in the finals, and we got our asses kicked. So fuck Brad Richards and Rimouski.
I didn't know, because I knew something happened, but I forgot to ask you last podcast.
Yeah, well, there was a bunch of shit too. Like our coach was nuts. We had some type of meeting or something, like with all the four teams, and we played the first game against Halifax.
Wait, sorry. What do you mean you had a meeting with all four teams?
We had like
everyone
some type
together?
of get together, yeah, like some dinner, like inaugural meet or some shit
weird?
like that. I don't know. I was only in one of them, right? So I'm assuming that it was you know what it was supposed to be.
Yeah.
So anyways, it was because we played the first game, And our coach was like, hey, it was getting kind of late, and we had all the schedules in front of us of what the night was going to be like. And our coach sent a message down and said that he's like, all right, we're leaving whichever time it was, maybe 9 or 9:30. When it hits this time, everybody get up, we're leaving. And we were, oh fuck, okay. And that was his big thing. Like he thrived on creating controversy, like even within the team, to bring us to have, he'd love to have like a couple groups in the room fighting against each other, because then we'd go out on the ice and we'd be all fired up, and that was just, he had a weird way of coaching. He had a lot of weird things to
there's people like that in the world too, not even coaches,
for sure, right? But he was a different breed, and he did some fucking off the wall shit, man. But so we did that, and then so whatever the time was, 9:15, 9:30, I think it was David Branch. He's the commissioner of the CHL and the OHL at the time. I'm not sure if he is now. He just he got up, and coach got up, and we all just got up, and we walked right out
in the middle
of a speech, and caused a ruckus. It caused a shitstorm, right? So we got in pretty big shit for that, and we got chastised in the newspapers here for it, and all that. So, but that was all the coach. We're a bunch of 18, 19-year-old kids, right? We're not gonna get up, and especially when the commissioner's doing that stuff, right? Even though I won't talk about the commissioner. I might need a job one day. But so we listened to the coach, and that was it, man.
What was your thought of coming to Halifax for the first time, playing in front of like the crowd? Because I'm assuming, I was too young to know, but what were the crowds good in Halifax? I knew it was
for the Moose.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Back then.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it was packed.
Were they still known though as one of the better CHL teams back then?
We didn't know about it, right? Because we didn't play a lot of the Quebec League teams, right?
Yeah.
So we played a lot of teams in the O, but when we were coming out here, the only thing we were told is we were coming to a city with a lot of hills, and that
really?
We were told that we were coming to a city with, our coaches were like, don't be walking around, you're gonna get shin splints. You're gonna get shin splints and calf strains, and
don't be walking
and he just
around.
said that it's a big rink with a big crowd, and that's all we knew. And they got beat out in the first round. They've been waiting around a long time, so
that's cool.
Yeah.
Were the London Knights a big team back then still?
London was, so when I was playing, I got drafted by Sarnia. So my coach was Mark Hunter, and the Cicerellis owned Sarnia. So I ended up, as I progressed on, pretty sure the Cicerellis sold Sarnia.
Yeah.
And then Mark Hunter, who was played in the show, and Dale Hunter, his brother,
who's the coach there now.
I think they bought London.
Okay.
And they just made London a powerhouse, right? They put a lot of money, and from everything that I've heard is that it's an extremely professional place to play.
Kids getting paid.
Yeah, under the table for sure. Paid. Yeah. It's no wonder why, you got to see a lot of American-born and import players that are just top-notch that are going there. Halifax got to be doing the same thing. They have
to be.
Ehlers and Heischer and all these Firk and all these guys that are imports coming in, and how do they, scouting's one thing, right? But then how do you get them from one team as opposed to getting them from another team, right? So,
well, there's a huge lawsuit right now in the CHL about some players complaining that they didn't get paid for their time here.
Okay.
Or their time there, excuse me.
Okay.
A huge thing going on.
Right.
I think like 20 players right now are suing.
Yeah, me too. I need some money too.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I'd like some money too.
Oh.
Me Too generation. Everyone, eh? Yeah, me too.
Oh, gotta be careful with those Me Toos.
Yeah, I'm sorry if I offended. I'm sorry. Yeah, I didn't mean to offend anyone there.
Yeah, fuck them.
What happened? Oh no, I want to get back to the Metro Center. Actually, you're on the ice with Tanner.
Yeah.
So what happens after that? Is there any pizza party, anything like that?
No. Oh, so the
I never played in the halftime.
So the halftime. Oh yeah. So that was wild, man. So we he was pumped. We got there, and
how many hours before the game?
3. We were there 3. No, I'm kidding. We got there like half an hour before the game start. So we had to get. I went and brought tickets for all the parents and stuff like that. So there was a bunch of the kids there. I think we had like 12 kids. We went up to watch a bit of the first period, and at 10 minutes into the first period, you're told to go down and get dressed, and they go down, they get pictures with Hal, and they pump fist with all the players coming off the ice and stuff like that. So I coached Cole McLaren and Brock McLeod last year in the Valley, right? So it was good to see them again. Cole's playing like a stud, by the way. Yeah. Every game I've come to see him play, he's got shutouts.
I haven't seen many games this year, but I hear good things.
I've seen 3, and he's got shutouts. Guy's sick. Anyways, there's a good props for you, Cole.
Cole?
Yep, cool.
Cool.
So then they went on the ice and they play for like 4 minutes and they just run around like
Madmen.
Yeah, like bats out of hell, just crashing and banging and just swinging sticks, and oh man, it's pretty fun. So Tanner got to talk. He got his first goal in the Scotiabank. Is that what's called now? Scotiabank Center or something like that?
I don't want to answer that question.
Okay.
It's the Metro Center in my heart, always will be.
All right, well there you go. Well, he got his first tuck where the Mooseheads play. So hopefully one of many, and he was just kind of pissed off that the teenagers, he told me, why do the teenagers get to have 3 periods and he only gets 1 period?
What do you mean teenagers? Oh, the actual
the
players.
Mooseheads. Yeah.
It's
he
funny.
calls them teenagers.
It's funny that he says teenagers, because when I was your son's age, I probably thought they were adults.
Right.
I probably thought these guys were in the NHL.
Right.
He says teenagers.
He says teenagers.
Did you tell him that?
I don't know. He picks up on a lot of stuff.
Teenagers. Oh,
Yeah.
smart kid.
Very smart. Yeah.
Is he?
Yeah, gets that from me, obviously. But yeah, so then after the game, after that, they just go downstairs, they get undressed, and they go upstairs and watch the rest of the game, which is pretty cool.
6-foot sub. They win.
No, they didn't. I was kind of rattled with that, though.
Were they trying?
I don't know. Fuck. No idea.
Anytime you're under the age of whatever, you're always trying to win the sub.
And I'm surprised. That's the first game too that he made it the whole time too. So my wife and my little guy and my middle, I keep saying little, my medium guy and my little girl and my wife's parents came to the game too, and they only lasted I think like a period and a half, and I stayed there with Tanner, and then we went home. So.
Speaking of lasting games, baseball. I remember when I was younger, my summers I lived in Montreal because my parents worked full time and they couldn't afford a babysitter. So they flew me to Montreal and I lived with my grandparents.
Couldn't afford a babysitter, but they flew you to Montreal?
Okay, flight to Montreal was like $200.
Right, okay.
And you're there for 3 months, so I'm there.
Okay.
My grandparents lived right next to Olympic Stadium, Montreal Expo. So I used to watch Expos games even though they sucked. They were terrible.
Awful.
I stayed for every single game, and I know you wanted to talk about baseball coming on here. And when I watched those Expos games, you know how there's always one sport you wish you played if it wasn't hockey. They always have that. Mine was baseball. What about you? Baseball?
Cricket.
All right, stop. This is a serious podcast here, man. Serious here.
Oh, baseball for sure. Yeah. Cardinals fan, obviously, die hard. Just signed Goldie. Yeah, Paul Goldschmidt. Woo. Now all we gotta do is bring Harper home and get a closer. But yeah, man. No, I like baseball. I obviously I wasn't a big fan growing up, but after spending some extended time vacationing through the entire United States of America, I became quite a fan, and I gambled on it a lot.
Did you?
Oh yeah.
Is it a hard sport to gamble on?
Actually, it's pretty easy. I'd say college football and baseball are pretty. Not that I'm a gambler, but baseball and college football, I would say it's pretty easy. I would think.
And in what sense?
Well, yeah, you have so with hockey you have, let's say Tampa Bay's going up against.
Chicago,
Edmonton, or Chicago, right?
Like right now, like in today.
Right now, okay. Right? So you're gonna have the backup probably playing for Tampa, might not play very well, right? The boys in Tampa might look like, oh, it's an off night, or like let's it's a point night or whatever.
Okay.
Chicago might have got a little fire ripped under their ass, and their best goalie is going to be trying to steal a game, right? So it's kind of hard, especially with lines and money line and spreads to trying to get a good grip on that. And the over unders are just you would think like two good goalies would you'd think that two good goalies are going to shut the door, and if the offenses are just flying, it might go over 5.5, right? But whereas baseball, if you have a good pitcher starting, you have a Noah Syndergaard, or you have a Corey Kluber, he's going at least 8 innings. He's probably going to get at least 10 strikeouts. That's going to limit the other team to probably less than 2 runs, and if your team has significant offense, it's pretty much a lock that they should win, right? So that's my take on the whole gambling with baseball. But what I spend a lot of time on with baseball is I get to know pitching rotations, and especially the bullpens. And I usually start gambling on games that are in like the 7th, 8th inning when the bullpen comes in. I do the live betting.
You can
especially
live betting.
Yeah. And then especially when the closers come in. If there's a closer, and now granted it costs a lot to win a little, right? But the chances of an A1 closer blowing a game, although they might have 50-60 opportunities and they might lose 2 or 3, right? So in the end you usually come up quite a bit. So
I'll take that advice in the summer when it comes around.
There you go. Send me a text.
Yeah, honestly, I'll let you know. If there's any hot streaks going on, I'll text you.
There you go.
What's the stadium like in St. Louis? Is it a nice one?
I've never been there.
Never been.
Never been there. I like I said, when I got in St. Louis, when I was there, they had the Rams, they had the Cardinals, and they had the Blues.
It sounds like a great sports city.
It's unbelievable, and everybody you'll see, like, because I'm when I say diehard, I'm diehard Cardinals fan. I read everything that's going on with them every morning throughout the day. I get updates throughout the day, this and that. I'm cursing myself because right now, a couple weeks ago, they were on the hot list to be getting Kimbrell, Britton, Andrew Miller. Now they're talking about Will Smith, and like, it's just, they're frustrating, man. You probably don't even know who these guys are, but it's just, St. Louis, they got tons of money, great baseball city, and they're just trying to go after like second class bullpen guys. And like, you want to make a stance. They've been behind the Cubs and the Brewers for the last 3-4 years now. Fucking make a splash. You got the money. Stop being a friggin' fucking soft fuck. It's driving me nuts.
Do baseball teams follow the analytic rule ever since that movie Moneyball?
There's a lot of analytics.
Like what you're telling me right now is I'm basically taking everything from Moneyball and Brad Pitt. Because you're saying they're going after these all-star guys and they're saying they're not one.
Well, yeah, right. But still, I don't like the analytics. Like, I don't know. It's I don't know, like analytics in hockey. Like well, if we hold the puck possession for longer, then we have a better chance at winning. Well, no shit, right? Like, fucking, okay, you don't need a computer to tell you that, right? Like the whole chip off the boards and go get it approach, is gone now. We'll just keep the puck. Well, yeah, okay. Well, you could say you keep the puck, but you could also get the puck turned over, and now you don't have possession. If you chip it by a D, you go and get it, you retain possession. Yeah. Right? So, I don't know. Analytics, I think there's a place for it, in some regards, but in another aspect, I just think that a lot of the information they spit out is common sense with regards to hockey. Now, baseball, they've got all these stats and numbers and formulas. I have no idea about that.
That's what I like about baseball. There's so much to learn. Every single game you'll learn a new rule.
Right. Yeah. Right. Yeah. So no, man. No, it's baseball. I'm a big fan of baseball. I'm excited. I swear I'm about to get divorced because my wife she hates sports seasons when I'm around, because I'll watch college football all Saturday during college football, and the Cardinals, they out of, let's say, 100, and they probably play 162 games out of 180 or 190 days, and I watch every single one of them, and it just drives her up the wall, right? So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know how I'm holding on to that, managing that, but I am. So,
speaking of St. Louis, the fight, practice,
loved it.
What are your thoughts?
Loved it.
A little in-house shenanigans, get the boys going.
Well, let's call a spade here. The Blues have been shit. They've
third
been
last
sucking.
in the West.
They've been sucking.
Yeah.
Right. They had to make a coaching change, which is tough because it's not always the coach's fault. When he gets fired, it's tough to trade or get rid of 20 guys. Just get rid of the one in charge. Right. So I get it, but at the same time, would they lose 5-0 and 6-1 immediately after they canned them? You know what I mean? So I don't know. I think. I don't know. Me personally, I love it. It shows that there's a bit of spirit. There's a bit of
care.
Yeah, that there's if you saw guys fucking the dog and for you tree huggers out there, I don't literally mean somebody having sex with a dog. Jeez, got to be careful.
I hate that we have to say sorry for everything. Right? We don't have to say it. It's just live on the edge. Live on the edge.
Yeah, well, that really didn't bode well for me in the past. But okay, so getting back to that. At least they care, right? So if they were out there, just not really giving a shit, and if you saw more videos of them out, in Uber vehicles, chirping each other and getting drunk and stuff like that, then where their heads would be at, right? So, I like that. I think that's with fighting being gone from hockey, I think that's been eliminated from the practices too, right? But back in the day, we there'd be tons of fights. There was fights in junior all the time. We had fights. We had 1 or 2 fights in SMU before when I was there, right? So
during practice.
Oh yeah, for sure. Oh yeah, guys, just it's battling, right? You have a lot of guys that are especially competitive guys. You don't see the guys that don't usually fight in a game that are fighting in practice, right? You see the guys that are battling and playing hard in a game. They're the same ones that are doing that in practice, right? So,
and for those of you that are listening that don't know the hockey culture, I'd say 9 times out of 10 after the fight is over, within an hour they both hug it out and apologize and move on and then go get a beer.
Yeah.
That's just the way it goes.
Yeah, well, especially with teammates, right? Like, someone, you never know this. You never know, right? Like, that's another thing. The media blows that up. Like, let's say, those guys are married, or one of the guys is married, and, maybe the guy had a fight with his wife during the day and, came to practice, or, maybe something's going on with his kid, and, maybe he got a fight in the coach, and, the coach is saying he needs more intensity in his game. He goes out and practice, runs a couple guys, and the one guy that he, rubs out doesn't like it, and, they start battling. And that's hockey, man. That's how hockey should be played. We shouldn't be getting chastised and, for fighting and making big hits. Like, I understand, you want to protect people's heads, and, I do too, but at the same time, hockey's changed, and it's getting to be a little bit ridiculous. It's getting way offside. Every single big hit is coming into question, and it's just like, it's pretty soon there's going to be no body contact, which is going to be absolutely ridiculous. Like, what are you going to do in football? You're not allowed to tackle. You see it already happening, with the sack rule on the quarterback, when you're not allowed to completely go on top of the quarterback. You got to kind of sack him, bring him, tackle him, and roll off to the side. You can't have, what is it, the rule? Like, you can't have your body weight being lunged right into him or something like that. Like, give me a break, right? But I don't know. It's frustrating. It's really frustrating.
I think it's cool how you said, I usually bring this up with a lot of hockey guys we have on that are pro, and you mentioned the family, the wife's upset at you, you got the kids, and there's things outside of the rink. That to me is the biggest difference from pro hockey to junior hockey, is that there's things outside of, more things, outside of hockey that come into play. I the fact that you mentioned that, I didn't even think about Bertuzzo maybe having a wife and kids, and that was frustrating, and that boiled over into practice. I wouldn't even have thought that.
Yeah, you never know, right?
What was your biggest experience? I don't think I asked you the first time you were on. What was your biggest experience with becoming a pro player? Was, maybe having to do your own laundry, having to cook for yourself, like you don't have any billets, anything like that? It
was me, like, doing, like, just me being alone, right? Like, me being there for having to make all my decisions and stuff, and that's what I had issues with my first pro year when I got sent down from New Jersey to Albany, and I just relied on drinking and stuff like that, right? Because I really didn't know. I had spent so much time with people in my life, just kind of directing me and telling me what to do.
But that's the life of every hockey player. There's so much do this, do that.
Yeah, there is, right? But still, with some players, you might have an agent that's overbearing, or a mom or dad that's overbearing, right? And then when they get alone, they want to miss out. It's like the old what's that saying? The old saying that they, you keep if you keep like chocolate and sweets away from your kid, when the first thing he's going to do when he gets away from you is he's going to go eat a bunch of chocolate and sweets, right? So, if you I think that if you're too overbearing, and you're too protective, and then when your kids do get out on their own, then they don't really know how to act properly, and that was my problem, right? So first time in Albany, I leaned on the alcohol, and then I started getting into trouble in St. Louis, where I was frequenting the strip clubs and just being an idiot off the ice, and I was mixing in a bunch of uppers and downers and pain pills because I tore my shoulder, right? I needed surgery at the end of the season. And
when it comes to those drugs, are those free? Like, do the trainers give those to you?
Oh yeah, it's like Skittles.
They just give it to you.
Yeah, they're there. They just say, hey, it's over there in the pouch. And you can just go over and take whatever you want.
No way.
Yeah, you're on if you can't sleep on the plane, you just say, hey, trainer, and he'll come over and here you go, here's 2 of these, and you're done. You
don't even think twice about it. Anything you want, you can get.
Yep.
I found it interesting also when you came over and told us about your jersey the first time you came, how you got it custom so you can pull and get your arm out and fight. And then I asked you after, I was like, anything you want in the NHL, is it available to you? You said anything. Above and beyond, anything.
Anything. It's professional. They're there the trainers and the massage guys, the athletic therapists, the coaches, they're there for you. They're there to give you what you need to succeed, right?
Do you think that could be part of the problem, though, with the softness? These guys getting massages every single day?
No, because I think the problem starts a lot sooner then they get there. I think it has to do with mommy and daddy pampering their kids all the way up, and then they feel entitled. It's one thing to, so for example, when I was in St. Louis, guys like Kachuk, who, are 50 goal scorers and have been doing it for a long time, they're older, their bodies are broken down, they're getting massages and backs cracked and stuff like that. I didn't even think twice to, if the table was open and I wanted my legs to get rubbed down for 5 minutes, I'd wait until everybody was done and I'd go in there and get them rubbed. One, I didn't want to get chirped by everybody. Oh, fucking youngin, what's wrong with you? Get off the fucking table, stuff like that, right? But I wanted to take advantage of it, of course, like I used to do that in junior, get, my massage guy to rub my legs out and that. But I think I think there's a difference between that and a difference now where the kids get up to junior and get up to pro and they feel entitled. They have this sense of entitlement that everything is owed to them. Where mommy and daddy have put them on a pedestal for so long. You're going to be the next Sid, you're going to be the next Nate. And kids actually believe that, even though they're the next, fourth line tier 2 junior guy.
Well,
right?
This sounds like a good segue into the Nylander situation.
Oh, sure. If you want to get, fuck, I hate the Leafs and Nylander.
Well, the situation's over. It's done.
No, obviously.
But
well, not really. Has he showed up yet to play?
He's -2 right now. That was a conversation I was watching on TSM before this. How long do you give him to get comfortable with the team?
Right.
And my answer to that is, if you're getting paid $10 million this year, it's right away. You got to go right away.
Listen,
you got to be ready.
He's played what, maybe like 170, 180, 100. He hasn't played 200 games, and he doesn't have the same amount of points, right? But he wants to get paid like a, almost like a McDavid and a Crosby and Malkin, Draisaitl. Like, come on, like he's played what, parts of 2 seasons, 3 seasons in the NHL,
two and a half.
You know what I mean? Like, prove yourself. Like, don't put the cart before the horse, right? And then holding out and all this. Like, listen. I hate the Leafs. I despise them. They're the last between them and the Cubs. I don't even know who I wouldn't. They're both shit.
Do the Cubs have a rivalry with St. Louis? Is that why?
They're the biggest rival. I despise them.
Okay.
So between the Cubs and the Leafs, I don't even know who's my number one. But I think the reason why I'm saying this is because even though I hate them, I think they got a really good team, and I think what they're doing is right. They got a good mix of young guys. Their young guys are good. Their goaltending seems to be okay. Defense is good. Their forwards are good. Defense could use some work, actually.
Cronwall's going there. That's what they're saying.
He's gonna steamroll through there, right? But no, I think that what he should have done is, suck it up for a little bit, take a shorter term contract, prove your worth, you get a point a game for the next, 3-4 years, then you can go on and ask, 10, 11 million a year or whatever you want to get. Right. But has the kid even hit puberty yet? Like,
I don't know if he has facial hair yet.
Well, fuck, it's ridiculous. Right. And he's demanding all this money. So I don't know. I think he should have put his tail between his legs. He should have signed, a reduced contract. And I don't know. Shouldn't say that. I should say that he should have done that. But in my opinion, I don't think he's worth the money that he received. Plus the fact that the Leafs got a good team. He should have been proud and honored just to go and play for them and try to help them win, instead of being all cocky and arrogant. Now he goes there and he's playing like dust. Could turn around, in the next couple of days and get 3-4 point night. Who knows? And make me look like a dick. But at the same time, he hasn't played so far, right? So there's a couple ways to look at it. At hockey at the beginning of the year is usually the guys that put in a lot of time, more than the average. They come out of the gates flying. That's
what do you mean put in the time?
Well, you put in the time training. You just who knows, right? Who knows how? Like, so back when I was playing, I did a lot of skating and a lot of training. I was to the extreme. I was insane with my training. That's why the training camps I'd go to, I'd win the fitness testings. I'd come out of the gates, I'd be like a bat out of hell. Every year, even when I got sent down, I almost made the team. I was the last round of cuts simply because I'd have a great camp. I was playing out of my comfort level, and wherever I was designated, I started really good in the year. Then you have the 10-12 games. Everyone gets caught up, and it's not that you slow down. It's just that everybody else is caught up to you, right? So there's you would think that after what did he miss? 20 games?
Sounds about right.
Something like a quarter of the season.
Yeah. In 25 games. Yeah.
So 25 games, everybody's in peak game shape.
And there's chemistry that's formed already.
100%, right? So you're already coming in at a disadvantage. And who knows what his training was like. Maybe he's just of the mindset like, oh, I'm the man and, I don't have to do this. And, he's got no points. And what was they play 2 or 3 games now? Two games.
They play Carolina tonight though, so
yeah.
Could
So
get some.
yeah, you know what I mean. And that's what I'm saying. Like I'm making mountains out of molehills right now, but at the same time, I just think that if you're going to talk the talk, you got to walk the walk, right?
Yeah.
You're demanding this much money. Was it $10 million this year with signing bonuses and that?
10.2, and then the next 5 years he's getting 6.9.
So even 6.9 for less than a point a game guy, like that's for a guy that's played not even 3 full years in the NHL. That's
privilege.
That right? That good for him for getting his money. You know what I mean? Like I wish I would have signed a contract like that, But I just in a game where we're trying to make payrolls work and parity in the league, I don't think he's worth that personally, in my opinion. You Leaf haters comment and hate, and I really don't give a shit what you think because I hate them.
You can hate them, but it sounds like you got respect for them because you said earlier.
I do. I do.
You can hate anything, someone, but you can have respect for them.
Yep. Actually, you know what? So this makes sense then. So I dislike the Cubs the most because I have no respect for them. Even after they won, I don't like them. Not like nothing about them.
All right.
There you go. Leafs fans. There's your apple.
So when did the Cubs won 2 years ago, right?
2 years ago, yeah.
So that was a bad year for you.
Yeah. Next question.
Customer service story. Greco, was it?
Oh man,
what happened?
You guys are trolling my Twitter, right?
Wait, man, we got if you're on there.
Oh man, I don't really go on Twitter that much, but when I do, it's meaningful. Oh fuck, we ordered what did we order? We ordered a like a I don't know, like a half pizza, half
pepperoni, half cheese.
No, like a half, like one of those big party boxes, but half of it was filled with pizza. And the other one was filled with like cheese bread or cheese sticks or garlic fingers.
Those are good.
Garlic fingers.
Those are good.
Dynamite, right? Yeah. The kids love them.
Donair sauce with it?
Yeah, Tanner loves a Donair. He eats like Donair sauce like his yogurt. It's unreal.
Tag it with his recess.
Oh man, it's unbelievable. He just like lifts them up and it's dripping off his cheese
garlic
sticks
bread,
or whatever.
Cheese,
Like, he's loving that shit. But so I get back and we've bought there from a couple times. Usually it's just my wife will just whatever, like she's coupon Carol, right? So she'll like if there's a deal at Pizza she'll go there. If there's a deal at Domino's she'll go there. She's great with her money, which is good for me because I'm pretty terrible with money, so it's good that she saves when she can. But so we went with Greco that night, and I get back home and we open up the pizza box. And like a quarter of the pizza, there's no pizza on it. It's just bread, and it's burnt bread. There's no tomato sauce. There's no cheese, and it's like up like one of like where the pizza turns, right? Where that little, I don't know what.
So wait, is it a rectangle pizza?
So it's like it was a how did it look? Yeah, it was like a kind of like a square, like a squarish rectangle pizza. Yeah,
like an oval.
Yeah, right. And then the same thing with the breadsticks, with the garlic sticks.
Okay,
right?
okay.
And yeah, man, it was missing like a quarter of the pizza. All it was burnt dough. There was no pasta sauce, there was no cheese, there was no pepperoni, there was nothing. So then I looked to the other side, and I'd say about 3/8 of the cheese sticks or whatever. What do they call garlic fingers? I don't even know what they're called.
Garlic fingers.
Like 3/8 of the garlic fingers, it's just burnt. There's no garlic. There's no cheese. It's nothing. I'm just looking at it. My wife.
Burnt dough.
It's burnt dough. That's all it was. And I look, and my wife's she's flipping, right? And I'm like,
you take a picture of it?
What? No, we didn't. I was talking to so let me get to this, right? So, did I take a picture of it? I don't know if I did. I might have.
You could sue. Maybe not.
Probably wouldn't win. They'd sue me for something, probably. Defamation of character or something. I don't know. I don't know. I thought I did. I was talking to the guy on the phone about it. So anyway, so my wife's flipping. She's like, this is bullshit, and the kids are already into their pizza, though. The good pieces, they're already chomping into the pizza and they're into the garlic fingers, right? So I was like, well, can't do anything now. She's like, well, I'm going to complain. And I'm like, you settle down. You go deal with the kids, and I'll go do the one complaining because I picked up the pizza and all this stuff, right? So she's feeding the baby, and so I was like, oh, I'll deal with this. So I called, and I tell the guy the problem. He says, okay, do you have what do you say? He says, do you still have the pizza? I said, well, yeah, I have the pizza. He's like, okay, well, what do you want to do? And I said, well, fucking half the thing's burnt and there's nothing on it. I don't want the pizza. Yeah. He says, okay, well, bring it back. Make sure that everything's in it, like nothing's been touched, and we'll make you new ones.
But the kids already ate.
And I said, well, I can't because my kids have already gotten into the pizza. And he says, okay, well, there's nothing I can do for you. And I said, there's nothing you can do for me. Like half the shit. I don't know, like the fractions or equations. I said like a quarter and 3/8 or whatever that makes.
That's good math.
Well, I just don't want somebody smart ass fucking commenting.
He's not a smart ass. Don't worry.
Okay, right. All right.
He's taking the phone.
Right, whoever's commenting ain't a smart ass, right? So no, and I'm sitting and they just said that they basically said to me, they said, sorry, there's nothing I can do for you. And I'm like, all right, well, it's the last time I'm fucking ordering from you. Like, it's fucking terrible.
Fortune 500 company like Greco that makes probably $1 million bucks.
Greco up there on Lacewood. Is that Lacewood?
That is Lacewood.
Lacewood. Greco on Lacewood.
Oh, that's them who you ordered from.
Yeah.
Where are you living at now?
Just, you know,
you don't have to say.
Know where I'm living
There's
at.
creeps. You're just up there?
Yeah.
Oh,
Joseph Allen Dutch Village, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna
We're boys. Like, we can probably like do like the flashlight thing at nighttime out the windows.
If you ever want to play catch, I got a ball and a glove. I'm always looking for someone. I usually just go up to the wall. Just
you can babysit my kids if you want to play catch.
Sure.
You can bring them to the park. They'll chase it down like a dog.
I got a girlfriend who's looking to make some money. She just moved back here. I can't believe I call her my girlfriend. Fuck.
Wow.
I can edit that part out.
Wow. No, you're not editing that out because I'm going to roll right into this something where I can make sure you can keep it there.
So Christmas is coming up, eh?
You
You got any gifts for the kids yet? No Greco gift cards.
Oh yeah, I got lots of gifts for the kids. Did you get a gift for your girlfriend?
No, I didn't. All right, man. Come on. How are the Cubs doing this year? The Cubs are going to be killing it this year.
All right. No. Christmas is it's a fun time of year. Yeah, we got. We're actually.
Don't tell me you're a fake tree family. You got the real tree?
I can't comment on that, man.
You're a fake tree family.
I said I can't comment on that.
You don't have a tree yet.
I can't comment on that, man.
Are you Jewish?
No.
No. Okay.
No, we live in a condo, and we're not allowed to have real trees in the condo. So I can't comment on if we have a real tree or a fake tree.
The landlord doesn't know. He's not listening. But okay, I get it.
You never know who's listening.
Did I tell you what happened one time here?
No, but you're gonna.
We had a guy. I'm not going to say his name. He worked at not Glen Arbor. What's the fancy golf course in Cape Breton?
I'm not a golfer.
I think it is Glen Arbor. Might be Glen Arbor. Anyways, it's a really nice golf course. One of the nicest in the country. So in the summertime, a lot of NHL guys go there. This year, I think he said it was Chris Pronger. Gary Bettman went. His wife, Sid, all the boys went up. And the guy that came on the podcast, my buddy, he was a caddy for a lot of these guys. Okay. So he came on the podcast and told stories about, what they were drinking on the course, how rowdy they got. He told some real good stories.
Right.
So when we put the podcast out, the PR representative of Glen Arbor somehow found the podcast, listened to it, let my buddy go the next day.
Really?
My buddy called me. He's like, hey man, you got to take the podcast down. I just got let go. I felt like a bag of shit. Still do feel like a bag of shit. It's a great job. One of the nicest golf courses. And that was my first realizations of the power that the podcast has. You can't.
Right. Power of
not
the podcast.
Power.
I like it. No, I
sound so pretentious sometimes on this thing. Power. I flew to Montreal, eh? No, that was last time. But anyways, last time. So you don't have a tree. That's the basis of the story.
We don't have a real tree. Let's just go with that because you never know who's listening.
Are you allowed pets in there?
Yeah, you're allowed pets. Yeah. We don't have pets. I got 3 pets actually.
What? No, you got 3 pets.
Yeah, 3 kids. Yeah.
You ever have a dog or anything? Cat?
I grew up having dogs and cats. Yeah.
What kind of dog?
German Shepherds.
Nice.
And then labs. Yeah.
Levi's a Labradoodle. Love the doodles.
Yeah.
I'm watching a documentary on Netflix right now called Dogs, and it's how the breed, the doodle, they're great for service dogs.
Okay.
For kids. blind children, kids that have seizures, kids with disformed spines, backs that can't walk properly, and they use these doodles. I'm not much of a crier, but I shed some tears watching this thing. It's some pretty touching stuff. These dogs. Looked up the prices of these dogs. $15,000 to $30,000 for the dog.
That's smart dogs, though.
Incredible. They were showing drills, like the trainer of the dog would pretend to have a seizure, and the dog would bark, it would jump, they do it like in the middle of a parking lot, and people around would just hear the dog bark, and then immediately help would come. Some crazy stuff these dogs can do.
Right.
And it's not even, there's police dogs, obviously, but they're talking about dogs now that can sense, sense a seizure 5 minutes before it hits you.
Jesus. And
I was like, they didn't really explain it that well in the documentary, but it was incredible.
That's unbelievable.
These things that they can do.
Dogs can predict that stuff, but can medicine? Science? Who knows?
Dogs are creepy. Yeah. Not creepy, but creepy smart.
Some dogs are creepy. Like those pug dogs with the noses up like that, the little ones that look like they're eating their own face.
I find cats creepy. They're nosy.
They're deceptive. They're sneaky.
I've never owned a cat, but when I talk to friends that own cats, they talk about their personalities and how they're easier to pick up on dogs because they're moody, and you're able to determine mood easier than a personality. I wasn't really listening.
Yeah, that's not some weird friends.
If you don't have weird friends, you don't have good friends.
True. Mitch Donnelly.
He's a weird guy. Weird friend?
He's a weird friend, yeah. He told me not to chirp him on this one, but I just did, so suck it.
What the fuck I wanted to ask you? Oh yeah, you talked about St. Louis and going out into nighttime and having a couple beers.
Yep.
But there's so many sports teams in St. Louis. Were you recognized at all in St. Louis?
You were, yeah, and that's it's because St. Louis has been known for such a sports town, right? To be such a sports city. A lot of the players that play for the Blues and the Cardinals, they live there after their careers are done, right? So they help out with the organizations and within the community, right? So it's just a really good feel-good town, to be there for an athlete. But at the same time, they're pretty respectable, right? Like you go out to dinner there, and I remember I was out to dinner, going out for drinks or whatever with the guys and stuff like that. And people would want to come and get a picture or autograph, but they wouldn't interrupt you. They just kind of sit there and wait. And then as you were leaving, the little kid would come over, the dad would come over and want to get a picture or something like that. Where in some of the cities, you just see people just kind of come right up and be like, yeah, I want this and I want that. Right. So it's a different place, but I really like St. Louis. It's, it was a really nice city to be. Would
you consider it a blue collar town, St. Louis?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yep. Yeah. They loved, and that was the best feeling there is when I was wheeling around on the ice, when I was doing my thing. Me and Ryan Johnson and Reed Lowe, for the most part, that's who our line was. We'd come off after a shift to just smashing and banging, and crowd standing ovation, start cheering and stuff like that. So they appreciate that kind of stuff, right? I like places like that. I like not crowds like that, but cities. They really represent the people well, right? When there's a blue collar community there that it just symbolizes that everybody's got each other's backs, they're working hard, and it's good things.
I love cities like that can rally around a sports team. I think Boston's a perfect example of that.
Exactly, right? How many a big city, but small still at the same time, right?
Yeah. How many championships have they had in the past 12 years? I saw a list when the Red Sox won it this year, but it was
Red Sox, Bruins, Patriots, Celtics, right?
Oh my God. I don't know what it is. I guess it's I'm the last guy to tell you what it is, but it's incredible stuff.
I was at the library today, up on Canada Game Center, right? And I'm sitting down here, and all the little private booths are taken, right? So I'm trying to get these assignments due for Thursday, and I got a directed study due. So anyways, I'm crunching, and basically even when I've been home the last couple weeks, I haven't, I just, have time to put the kids to bed or, see them during the day a little bit. And then I'm off to do my work. But sitting there, and I noticed there's an inordinate amount, maybe 10, 12 of these teenage kids that no older than 16. They're definitely got to be in school.
So they're at the Halifax West up there.
I guess I don't know the schools, right? I don't know the area that well, so I guess I don't need to, right? My kids are Bert Nettinger, so I guess that would be Halifax West. Would they go Halifax West?
Bert
Nettinger?
They would.
Yeah,
They'd go to Clayton Park or Fairview, whatever. If they're taking French, doesn't matter.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, it doesn't matter. So anyways, I hear these kids, and I'm trying to put my earplugs in, like my headphones in, but I don't want to have any music in there. Kind of messes me up when I'm trying to do my work, so I'm just trying to drain out the noise a little bit. But I hear these guys, they're playing video games there, because I guess you can rent video games and you can play it there on the TV or something like that. And then this guy gets up and he's saying, oh, I got to go to the washroom. And they're like, well, you were just there. He's like, yeah. He goes, but it dissolved in my mouth. So, or dissolved in his throat. So he had to go to the washroom. He came back 10 minutes later, whatever he was doing. He's crashed there. He's got his girlfriend sitting on his lap, his hands like down her pants grabbing ass, and he's I don't know if he was sleeping, but he was just lying there, and he was lying there for like 30-40 minutes, and he got up. This is all like 12 feet away from me, right? And his hair is all out of me. It looked to me, I'd take an educated guess, like he was sleeping, right? But the whole time they're talking about Molly and weed, and the guy kept on blowing his nose, and they were making jokes about him doing cocaine and stuff like that. And I'm sitting there going, these kids should be in school. I don't even know if is school going on right now still.
Yeah, it is. Christmas vacation hasn't started.
Okay,
yet.
So they should be going to school. They coming in here and playing fucking video games all day, doing drugs. They were joking around about going into the girl was like, I've never had sex in the library bathroom, and the guy's like, well, we should do that then. And he's talking off, and I'm just
talking
sitting there
loud
going,
so other people can hear.
Oh, it's extremely annoying. You know what I mean? But then what are you gonna do? Like, there's like 12 of them, and then you say to them, hey, have some respect. Shut the fuck up, type of thing. And then what? You got to fight like 9 people or something like that.
You got to deal with his parents.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Oh, don't tell my son Charlie that he was, being a nuisance or some crap like that. Meanwhile, okay, well, did Charlie tell you he was doing blow and Molly in the friggin' bathroom at the library when he should have been at school? But yeah, man, it's just a different breed. Like that wasn't my generation, right? Like I guess it's just a different environment too, right? It was just with my hockey buddies. We practice every day, and we'd go from school and we'd get picked up. We'd go right to practice. We'd come home. It'd be like 9:30, 10:30 at night after a practice or a game, and we'd go to sleep. We'd just repeat the whole thing again, right? We didn't have that kind of stuff, right? So it's just a shame. I think about like, I see my boy, my oldest Tanner, he's growing every year, right? Last year primary, this year grade 1, and you see he's got this clique of like 4 or 5 friends that he's meshed with over the last couple of years. And it's cool to see like your kids develop and stuff like that, but then at the same time you see these other, I gotta be careful with what I say, these other group of individuals that are at a library doing stupid shit, and you just you can't help but to wonder, like, is that gonna happen? Like, is he going to be, exposed to that? I'm sure if he's, not an athlete, by the time he's 15, 16, I'm sure he would be exposed to that, because it's pretty rampant from what I'm hearing. But I don't know, man. It's just sad. I just think that, and I don't know, maybe that was going on when I was a kid too. I don't know, right? But I just wasn't a part of it, right? So, but I think, with all the laws and everything that have been coming in, I think it's that kind of stuff is just more easily accessible to youth and stuff like that. So I don't know, man.
There's so much out there. What's that?
It was just disturbing just to see it. Yeah, just trying to get work done at the same time. I wanted to talk. I screwed around at SMU a lot of the time too. But I'm not being obnoxious and doing drugs and shit like that. So
well, most of my history from back in the day of kids messing around, I just automatically think the worst thing that they would do is smoke a cigarette, smoke a joint,
right?
Hang out underneath a bridge somewhere,
right?
That's what I can think of. I don't know. I really have no comment on it.
Yeah, I don't know.
I can't say anything. I don't know. There's just so much. There's so much out there, and the only thing I will say is that there's so much out there in the internet, on Instagram, Facebook. So many influencers, and when kids see this and they don't know who they are, and they see these individuals online, and maybe they're not models, maybe they're not athletes, maybe they're not good-looking people. There's other people out there. You see that rapper he's in jail now with the hair, the rainbow. You laugh, but there's kids out there that look at this guy and go, I kind of want to be like that.
Well, see,
and there's that, and then there's 10 more of him.
100%. There's screw it. Guy looks like an ass clown. right? And he carries himself like a dick, right? But then he has society looking at him, and there's some people that look up to him like as a mentor or a role model. Yet, what's the song that got taken off the radio last week? A Christmas song. There was some Christmas song that was written back in the 40s because it was deemed to be. I think it started happening in the U.S.
Lisa was talking about this right before you got here.
I bet you Lisa's pissed as hell.
She was ranting at dinner today about it.
I'm telling you, it's
what song was it? It was a great song too.
I can't remember the song name, right? But yeah, it was made like in the 40s, or it was written in the 40s or something like that.
It's the classic.
Yeah, and it was I guess it was just how they looked at it was that, it was kind of demeaning to women, and but then you read up on stuff like this, and some people are saying, well, no, actually it's the song that's seems like it's empowering women, a woman that's like saying no and all this stuff. But anyways, regardless, this is what I think we were talking about at the beginning, right? Is that it's a fucking Christmas song. It's not something that we're trying to, like me personally, with regards to the national anthem and with regards to this Christmas song. When I'm listening to it, I'm not hearing, oh, let's, leave out a certain group of people, or let's demean women. I'm singing, it's a Christmas song. I'm really not even paying attention to the lyrics. You know what I mean? So just leave it as is. Like it was written in a time, sure, that maybe if it was meant to demean women, where that was socially acceptable, and I understand and I agree that today it's not. However, it wasn't written in 2018. Are we going to have to go through all the movies that were made in the 50s and 60s and remake them because the hidden messages in there are incorrect and they don't suit society standards today? You know what I mean? It's like this. When is it going to stop? You know what I mean? And that's where I got a big problem with all this stuff. And just every week it just seems to be like, well, this is happening, this happening. Okay, well, fucking how many rappers are putting out songs about stupid shit, robbing banks and friggin' shooting people and having loads of money from selling drugs? Is that acceptable? How come we don't take that off the airways? Carrie Underwood, breaking up with a boyfriend who cheated and fucking she's smashing in a car. Is it socially acceptable to go smash in your boyfriend's car if he cheats on you? Well, why don't we change that shit around? You know what I mean? I'm not trying to, sway one way or another. I'm just saying, like, just enough's enough. If people, it's just like, you have your right to voice your opinion and your freedom of speech, but you don't even have your freedom of speech anymore. You're being cut off at the ankles everywhere.
That's true.
So I think people just need to, to tuck their balls up a little bit, or wear your bras a little tighter. I can't leave out the females. And you know what? Just try to understand that nobody's trying to, negatively or derogatorily, chop people down with everything they say.
I didn't wake up this morning making fun of midgets because midget is a league in hockey.
Right? Exactly. But then, you're going to have the people saying, well, that's the problem. It's just become an acceptable term and that's derogatory for us. Like, give me a fucking break. You know what I mean? It's when that whole stuff went down in with the NHL about, saying, calling people gay and stuff like that, like, oh, shut up, like you fag and stuff like that, right? They made a big deal about it. And granted, you can't say that. And I agree with that, right? But people were, I think, it was early on, some of the guys that got suspended from that were saying, well, like, I didn't mean it like that. It's just been something that we've been saying since we were young kids, like growing up. And the responses were like, well, that's the problem. It's been acceptable in society. And, you look at it and you're like, well, yeah, that kind of derogatory term is, but there's got to be some type of sway here of the pendulum, like not everything is completely derogatory to everybody. I just feel like everything that everybody is saying, it's being so centralized into one big bin of you can't say this anymore because it might be misconstrued and it might be taken out of context. It's just, whatever. If someone's going to say something and offend someone, then so be it. Let those two people deal with it. Why the big upheaval with it?
Well, I think in the grand scheme of things, there's always going to be dicks. There's always going to be negative people in the world. But for 100%. The most part, you know, I'd say there's a lot of great people in this world, and a lot of people wake up on a day-to-day basis having a positive mindset, looking to change the world, looking to be happy, looking to care for others, not looking to get out there and like you just said, go out there and try to hurt someone's feelings because of a Christmas song, because of a league called hockey. Look, anything in life.
Right.
I think it's just it's a group of people that want to be heard. And at the end of the day,
looking for their high button.
Honestly, at the end of the day, everybody wants to be heard. I have a fucking podcast. I want to be heard.
Right.
But there's some people that don't have a platform that just
right.
And it's so accessible now. You got Instagram, you got Twitter, you got anything,
exactly.
man.
Yeah.
You know, back in the day, you didn't have anything. Let's say back in the day, you were upset about a league being called midget hockey. Right. How are you going to tell anyone? You're going to call the New York press, be like, hey, listen, I got a story. They're like, fuck off. I don't care about this.
Right. Yeah, for sure.
Right now, in today's generation, oh my God.
Oh, yeah.
Anything.
You know, there's a fucking YouTube channel of some kid that gets toys sent to him. You hear this? You seen this guy?
Something like you just said, man. Something every week. Every day.
But this has been going on for a while. It just kind of came to me now, but my kid used to watch this when we used to first let him have the iPad. This kid's got a channel on like Toys R Us and Walmart and Mattel and whoever makes these toys. I don't even know, right? I just know that they're friggin' raping me for fucking Christmas. Am I allowed to say that word? Or is someone gonna get offended?
Don't ask permission.
Jesus Murphy. But yeah. So, but this whoever makes these damn toys, they send it to this kid, and he plays with them. And his mom or dad are taping him playing with him, and he uploads his shit to YouTube.
He reviews them?
Yeah, he'll review them and he'll put hundreds of millions of views
just to play with
all these toys. This guy's got a room of unopened toys, and just a couple times a day he'll just go crack some open and play with them. Hundreds of million. The whole family probably is just living off the interest. It's unbelievable. Fuck, give me some toys. I'll play with some toys. You know what I mean?
Send me some hockey sticks. I'll flex them, tell you what I think about them.
Some hockey cards, baseball, whatever. Send me something. I'll play with something. Jesus Christ, man. I'll do a YouTube channel. I'll put on some t-shirts and I'll even put on some bras. I don't give a shit. You want to send me money? I don't care.
There's a weird thing online that people eat in front of the camera. People enjoy watching other people eat on camera.
Wow.
Not reviewing food, like let's go to McDonald's and get the new burger. Not that, because that's a thing. Reviewing food, that's always been a thing.
Right.
But people will make nachos, put it here, put the camera here, and just eat nachos and talk about their day. But and that's the thing. People that's a huge thing in Asian culture. Jesus
Murphy, man.
There's another channel about people being tickled. It's like a soft version of porn, but it's allowed on YouTube because there's no nudity, and people will watch other people get tickled and try to resist against laughing or saying stop. That's another thing. Wow. There's a bunch of shit.
The fact that you know that, though, is a little disturbing.
It is. I shouldn't have admitted that. Now I'm embarrassed. But it's on Vice. It's too. Like I said, there's too much information, man.
I hear you.
There's fucking everything, and that's part of the problem.
No,
there's
right.
so much shit out there.
You're right, man.
If you're bored, just go on the internet and type in. Not that I typed in tickling, but
it's we should move on to the next one because it's coming out real rough for you right now. What's going on with you? Yeah, let's turn this around a little bit here. Why don't you tell me about yourself now? What's been going on with you lately?
The high button, man. It's tough getting a business going. I think when I talk about the high button, it's not just a podcast. I want it to be more.
What do you want it to be? Tell the viewers. Let's go. What do you want it to be?
I think you're the first person to ask about that.
Well,
very thoughtful.
Hey, I'm trying to spin this for you.
No, go for it.
Like, what do you envision the high button being?
I envision the high button being a different source of entertainment coming out of the maritime provinces. Just because it's in Nova Scotia doesn't mean I want it to be based out of Nova Scotia. I'd love for it to be in Newfoundland. Probably there's a lot of great characters in Newfoundland, Prince Edward Island, Cape Breton, even though that's part of Nova Scotia. I'm just kind of sick of people filming lighthouses and putting a drone up in the sky and looking. Don't get me wrong, it's a beautiful part of the world, the maritime provinces. I think it's an amazing place to live, but I'm really trying to show another part that's awesome about this province, which is the
entertainment part.
Entertainment.
People, right.
3 of the best hockey players in the world live here, and the only media coverage about them is they'll go to the hospital and see sick kids, which that's great. But there's other things that are amazing about the people that live here, not just athletes, entrepreneurs, artists, athletes. And I'm really just trying to expose that because there's a lot of cool things that are going on in this province other than the ocean.
No, I agree. So
You know?
what do you need from the Maritimes people in order to get your vision going?
I really want to do I want to get a group of individuals that are comfortable being on camera on a day-to-day basis and kind of get a behind-the-scenes reality thing going. I'd love to have one day in office and daily uploads of, you know, maybe Friday, for instance, we talk about what's going on in Halifax Saturday and Sunday for the weekend. So like not a huge source of media, but just you know, this is going on. There's something else is going on.
Like a little, like somewhat like informative or something like that.
Yeah, a little bit informative, but not.
But seeing the real aspect, not the candy coated, you know, tiptoe through the tulips bullshit version that the CBC News and Global News feed us.
Essentially.
Right.
But one,
I like your shit, like the one with the Christmas you did the other day, asking people, like honestly out there in Halifax, like, you know, we all know who the high button is. You know, we all know who J-Man is. You know, you see him coming up and asking you questions. Don't be giving him no answers like, oh, I don't know about Christmas. I don't know. Answer the question, man. Help the guy out. He's trying to do some good for you people. He's asking you questions. Let's not shy away from the camera. Just say some stupid shit because that's funny. Show your personality. Yeah. That's what I try to do. Yeah. I just try to be real. You know what I mean? And I think what you're doing is cool. I like the fact when you hit the streets and ask about, you know, Movember and that shit's funny. The one dude you had on there had me cracked up, man. He was
Jeremy. Yeah,
man. He was funny.
And I feel like that's kind of my responsibility is to find characters within this part of the world and put them on a display because most guys that want to maybe be on camera or girls, excuse me, they can't go to CTV, they can't go to CBC, they can't go to any of these platforms because they don't fit the. It's a very conservative place we live in. Very conservative. Oh, yeah, very conservative.
Which isn't. It's not a bad thing either. You know what I mean? It's really not like conservative isn't bad. If you know, I wouldn't.
It's not bad. It's not bad. It's just not. The way
personally, I like being from Toronto. I like the Maritimes. I really do, and I'd never leave. You know, and that's you know, I've lived, you know, in oh gosh, how many countries in Europe? Maybe 6 or 7 different countries in Europe. I think I've traveled to like more than 25 countries in the world already, and you know, I've lived in the U.S. Lived in, you know, upstate New York. I've lived in the Midwest. I've lived on the West Coast. I've, you know, came from Toronto where people's noses are fucking like that, touching their foreheads, and you know, all over Europe, like I said, and I about the only other place where I would seriously consider living full time is probably Sweden. Wow. I loved Sweden. It's just very laid back.
It's good looking women.
Gorgeous women, like fucking pretty good looking men too. I don't want to leave anybody out, but yeah, the women are just on a completely different level. But no, Sweden it's phenomenal. There's trees and water and just huge land. Just not a lot of people though either. You know what I mean? So it's not overpopulated, and that's great, man. Right? But yeah, I'll never leave Halifax. So
then what is it about it? Halifax?
It's the people. I just love the easy living here. I really do. Like I remember Steiny picked me up. I don't know if I told the story last time I was on, but Steiny picked me up from the airport, and we were heading into town. And there was people. He was driving. I didn't know what the street was then, but we were driving down Connaught Avenue, right?
From the airport, sorry, you getting picked up from the airport?
Yeah, but I'm trying to think of now. Must have been going. Yeah, so like from this area towards like where SMU is, because we were driving down. I remember turning, making like a left turn a little bit. Okay. And I just remember all the trees and all that stuff too, right? But there was people that were just like walking across the street where there was no crosswalk, there was no stoplights or anything like that. And you know, Steiny, I'm surprised, but he slowed down and let the people pass. And I remember saying to him, like, man, if that was in Toronto, they'd be done. And that's just something that I've seen over the years here. An inordinate amount of times where people they walk across the street and, you know, dudes are jaywalking and stuff like that. It's all good, you know, snitches get stitches, so I didn't say nothing. But at the same time, you see it here, and it's no one's honking, no one's trying to drive crazy and hit you and stuff like that. But in Toronto, they would. In New York, they would, right?
Yeah.
Here, it's just really laid back. The people are easygoing, like you said, conservative to a degree, and it's just like there's no worries here. You know what I mean? Everyone's just like, hey, relax, have a beer. It's the Maritimes, and that's it, right? And I'll never leave. I love it out here, and I think a big part of it too is that when I came here, they were very they were very welcoming and forgiving of my situation. So that definitely aided to it. But you know, they didn't have to be. You know what I mean? It's they made a choice, and it's just the way they live out here. And I'm proud to call Halifax the Maritimes home. I really am, and I don't think I can't see now if I get a job that's going to pay me up the wazoo, then I'd leave, right? If I had to leave, but I don't want to leave. I guess it's a different way to put at it, but yeah, man, I've met a lot of good people, and I'm grateful for the opportunity of coming here. That's for sure.
It's cool because a lot of people say that exact same story. Yeah. Not the crossing of the street and slowing down, but just have a beer, relax. It's all right. Don't worry about it.
Exactly. Like slow down. Like no one's. That's the other thing too. Because coming from Toronto, I'm a real aggressive driver, right? Yeah? So I drive my wife's like sitting in the car, and she's like this the entire time. And like every time like I'm getting close to a car, and I might or may not look down at my phone and finish a text or something. She's
standard or automatic? Sorry.
Automatic.
Okay, keep going.
Right, and she says, I can't remember where I was going now. I'm fucking with you. And she's like, Mike, stop. And her hands like go up, and I'm like, relax. Like, just relax a little bit, right? I'll weave in and out sometimes. So, but yeah, but everyone is just, no one's here. And I know I'm sitting there sometimes, and I'll be cutting it tight for something. And I'm like, fucking beep, beep. Like, fuck, let's go. They're looking in the mirror, and just two hands at 10 and 2, just kind of strolling. I'm like, yeah, it's Maritimes.
One thing every Sunday, quick question before I get to my story. Yeah. Do you think playing hockey made you a better driver due to the fact that you're aware of your surrounding 360 degrees? Go.
That'd be a good research study right there.
Do you think though? Do you think you're a good driver because you've played hockey?
I know I'm a good driver.
But do you think that is because... Do you think... Okay, let's say you've never played a sport in your life.
I think that I'm a good driver because of where I had to learn how to drive growing up. Being in Toronto, because it's overpopulated and there was cars everywhere, right? Like if you can learn to drive on the 401, you can drive pretty much everywhere. Okay. You know what I mean? It's pretty chaotic.
Dudes and I have this assumption that the fact that we played hockey our whole lives makes us both good drivers because when we want to switch a lane, we know how to, almost like when you're going in the corners.
I like it. That would definitely lead to why my wife's an awful driver.
Isn't that right? Has she ever played a sport?
Basketball and rugby. I don't know. You would have to think like playing basketball. You'd have to like look around and but she's an awful driver. She's just real tentative.
Whatever.
Real tentative. It doesn't matter.
Back to the 10 and 2.
Yeah, go.
Favorite thing. One of my favorite things to do recently. I play in a league out in East Hants every Sunday, hockey. Okay. Love driving in the right lane, stopping, getting a coffee, going 80 all the way out there, turning on my favorite podcast. Okay. One of my favorite things to do.
What's your favorite podcast?
Right now, it's called The Church of What's Happening Now. Joey Diaz. He was a criminal back in the 80s in New York. Now he's a comedian. Holy shit, the stories this guy has about, he just dirt poor, and had nothing in life. So anytime he needed a quick scheme, some quick money, he would talk about how he would do it, and some of the stories he has about how he would make a quick $1,000. Right. Do you want me to tell you one really quick?
I do.
So back in the day, there's no security cameras. There's nothing. You can do whatever you want. So what he would do, he would get a job at a gas station at a night shift, because at the night shift, there's no managers, there's nothing, but there's people getting gas, and he's the only one working there. So it's just him. So apparently back in the day, there was a vault where every time the cash register had $1,000 in it, you had to put the 1,000 in the vault. So he said in a night, you make $2,000 in cash just from people paying with gas. Right. He'd go in there at the end of the night, take the $2,000 and just leave. He'd work one shift at the gas station. When he applied for the job, handed in his resume, put a fake number, fake address, fake name, fake everything. And then he just hopped town. $2,000. That's just one example of how
I'm sure that he would have like grabbed a couple Snickers bars and Pepsis or something, right? Like I would for sure. Like the Hostess cupcakes or honey buns or whatever.
Anything.
Super Joe Louis.
Anything. I used to be a really big drug addict, and he used to hang out with a lot of drug dealers. And apparently when you do a lot of drugs, drug dealers trust you if you do drugs. So
that makes sense.
That's what he said. And he said he would, let's say you and I just met, I do a bunch of coke, you sell coke, and we become friends right now, and all of a sudden you trust me. You just go, yeah, like I'm going down to Florida next week. I'm probably going to head out. It's going to be a good time. And he would take this information, be like, oh, sweet. All right, I'm just going to use the washroom really quick. Go in the washroom, open up the window, or not open up the window, unlock the window. Right. So when this guy goes to Florida, he just breaks into the house. Wow. He said he used to live in people's houses for 2 weeks at a time because he knew they'd be out of town. And while he's living there, he'd put his feet up, shower, take the coke that's in the house. Listen to it. It's a really
like
cool
a beauty.
Oh, it's a real cool podcast.
All right.
I love talking or listening to people that have different experiences than I have, because not that I didn't have an interesting life, but I grew up in the suburbs my whole life, and
Right.
I was very, I experienced what I experienced.
Right.
Eddie Robinson, you know him? He was on here a couple times, played for Chicago Bulls.
Yep. Okay. Yep.
He grew up in the ghetto of Michigan.
Right.
Love having that guy on.
Right.
The stories he has.
Yeah. I don't want to, and I don't want to, come off sounding. Sorry for interrupting. Go.
No, I interrupted you a bunch of times today. You go.
Okay. All right. Well, fuck you then.
Go for it.
I don't remember what I was gonna say. I messed
Is
with
that
you
my
again.
fault?
No, but I gotta stop doing this one because I am gonna forget about it. No, I don't want to come off saying like the wrong thing or that, but it's I think I don't want to say that like there's uninteresting people that like you said you come from the suburbs and that, but I think people that come from a very unique / disturbed background, I think their stories, because they're especially if they're willing to talk about it, seem more interesting, because we don't view society as that disturbed way,
Yeah.
that imperfect way. We kind of have our own, as humans, we have our own, set standards of how society should be. And, it's not troubled, to the degree where some people come from. So I think that's why we kind of find that those types of people interesting and unique, and their stories, being, like you said, like good storytellers, right? But I like hearing that stuff, because I like that whole, obviously, I like that whole, down in the dumps, come from behind and succeed, story, right? Like, who doesn't, right? Like all the best movies are about somebody, rising up, The Godfather and all that. Like, come on, right? Favorite movie? Oh, you know what? This is gonna reveal.
It's a stupid question.
This is gonna reveal a bit of my character, though. Like I'm a bit of a sap when it comes to movies. I love like Braveheart and The Patriot and Armageddon. John Q. Love movies like
John
that.
Q.
John Q.
Right? You my hero.
Oh, man.
At the end,
Right?
John Q. You my hero.
Dude was gonna take his life for his kid. Love that, right? But Armageddon, what the hell's that? Armageddon. I don't want to close my eyes.
Are you saying arm again?
Armageddon.
Armageddon.
You don't know Armageddon?
I don't know.
People, come on. Flood the gates here and rip Justin about the Armageddon here.
What is it? Who?
Bruce Willis, Ben Affleck, Liv Tyler, bunch of other dudes. I just don't remember their names.
What's the premise?
There's an asteroid coming to kill that's going to demolish Earth, and they're an oil drilling crew.
Okay.
And they get selected to go up to space, fly up there on a spaceship, land on this asteroid or this comet or whatever. This asteroid it was. I sound like an idiot saying comet. How you gonna land on a comet, idiot? So they land on this asteroid, and they're put there to drill into the middle of this asteroid and put this big ass nuclear bomb in there and just explode the asteroid before it hits Earth, so everybody on Earth can live, right? And
okay.
Yeah. So I'm gonna
watch that tonight. Armageddon.
It's unreal. Are you kidding me? I think it probably came out in like 97 or 99 or something like that.
Movies today are garbage.
But yeah, right.
Garbage.
Oh. But yeah, so I love movies like that where it's The Patriot, like with Mel Gibson with The Patriot, where he's he kind of retired from the war and one of his kids gets shot. And he just goes on a mission just to kill this one dude.
Yeah.
And Braveheart. I love movies like that, man. I just I'm a bit of a sap. I like that feel good feeling, and always shed a tear. It's okay. I'm in touch with my masculine and feminine side, man. I can cry at a movie and
I'm telling you, Watch Dogs. Do you have a Netflix account? I guess
I do.
Everyone does. But Watch Dogs when you get home. Watch the second episode.
Okay.
I think that's the one with the seizures.
Okay. Sounds good.
Favorite Christmas movie?
Oh, favorite Christmas movie. I was brought up on Home Alone, stuff like that. So, here's a question for you: is Die Hard, are they Christmas movies?
Say that again.
The Die Hard series, are they Christmas movies?
I didn't know there was a series. I thought it was just one.
No. gosh, man, your youth is really coming out.
I'm
Die Hard with a Vengeance, Die Hard 3, Die Hard Live Another Day or some shit like that. With
okay.
Bruce Willis and what was it, Samuel? Is it Samuel L. Jackson?
Probably.
Something like that, yeah. Anyway, some people, it's an argument. Some people say that it's Christmas movie. Some say that it's not. But favorite Christmas movie? I don't know, man. I like the old. I like the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer and Frosty the Snowman. So I like watching that stuff, especially with the kids. Right? It's a little different.
Yeah.
Watch the Grinch and stuff like that with them. So movies have changed in the last 6 years for me. So
World Junior's coming up.
Yeah.
I got a buddy living in Vancouver right now. Said there has not been. He hasn't seen a billboard. Hasn't been to a bar, someone's brought it up. Hasn't gone to work, someone's brought it up. Hasn't talked to his friends, no one's brought it up. Vancouver just announced they're getting the NHL draft. No one cares. How do you feel about that? It's going to a place in Vancouver, or a place, in Canada.
Right.
No one cares.
Why
isn't it in Halifax? Why isn't it in Newfoundland? Why isn't it in...
Somebody paid a large amount of money to have it there, probably. Some behind the scenes shit. I don't know, man. Hockey with me, I don't know. Hockey's disturbing. I'm seeing, like I think I touched on it last time with my little guy. I'm even seeing it at the IP level. You know, there's some parents that are really into hockey. You know, and you know, I teach a group of kids here in Halifax, and you know, there's some parents that are really into their hockey. You know, and you know, I don't know. I think hockey's changing. I don't want to. I don't know. I guess I don't give a shit. I just think hockey's taking a turn, and it's not good. You know. I just don't think. I think a lot of how the kids are being brought up these days. You know, with and it's bad because the business I own. You know, it relies on people like this, right? But you know, I just think that. I just think parents got to just give their head a shake a little bit. You know what I mean? Like the chances of your kid playing in the NHL is
you got to win the lottery twice.
You know what? Is that what it is? You know, it's astronomical. You know what I mean? And for you, not only just because anybody can. So the odds of making it are astronomical. The odds of having a 10, 12-year career where you never have to do anything for the rest of your life. That's like, I don't know, being bitten by like an elephant, I guess. I don't know, something like that, right? But like, right? You got to get a small sample size there, but no, like I'm serious. So like it's, and the way that I go and watch a couple of the kids that I teach, a couple of their games and stuff like that. And you see some of these parents in the stands and they're just yelling at their kids to back check, you get them. And I'm just looking at them going like this is like Pee-wee, like AA or like Bantam AAA and stuff like that. It's like, yeah, you know, it's pretty good hockey, but like settle down a tad. Like your kid's going nowhere.
You ever have parents come up and you like, hey, so what does it take to get there?
Well, the parents that actually, you know what? I'm pretty lucky with the group that I had in the summertime and the group that I have throughout the year now. It's a pretty good group of parents. Jesus.
It's a pretty good group of parents.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes, I'm not going to try it again. So yeah, the group of kids is phenomenal. I really like the kids. You know, there's times where I'll have a kid come out and, you know, if he's not up to par, not with regards to skill level, but with mentality and work ethic, I'll just tell the parents, listen, thanks, appreciate it, but this is a one and gone. I don't want your kid coming back type of thing. I don't want other kids to bring down the level of you know, of the respect and of the mindset. My mindset's a little different than most, I think, with regards to hockey. But you know, I got a pretty good group of parents. So, you know, I don't mind, you know, talking to them about it, and they seem pretty laid back. They just want to know, you know, I've had a couple parents, you know, just, am I doing too much? You know, am I going too hard? And, you know, at least they ask it instead of going too hard, you know what I mean? So I don't know, I feel pretty lucky to have a good group around me, but like I said, some of the games that I've gone to see, and some of these parents that I'm not associated with, obviously, is that why I'm saying it. It's just they're way too much, you know. That's just
a shame.
And you wonder why, you know, the older you get and you get up into Bantam and midget, there's a significant decline in the amount of kids that try out for those teams. And
why is that?
They probably, because, you know, maybe parents finally realize that there's no hope for their kid playing any further, so they stop paying for it. Or maybe the kids get to the age when they're 13, 14, they've just had enough of their parents, you know, reaming them out for the last 5, 6, 7 years, and they just say, you know, screw this, I'm going to go do something different. You know
do you believe in the two-sport rule? Summer play soccer, lacrosse, baseball, something like that?
You know what? So my kids, I grew up, I was playing hockey and lacrosse.
You played lacrosse?
I played lacrosse, yeah.
Me too, man.
I was real good at lacrosse.
Me too. I went to
loved
nationals a bunch of times.
Look at you,
I went to
eh?
Prague 2 years ago.
I was vicious in lacrosse, though. Vicious. But
I'm going to show you some highlights of me after.
Oh, I'm going to get... Sorry, Nance, I'm not coming home. No, it's all seriousness, no. All seriousness, though. Gosh, I'm exhausted. I had to stop playing lacrosse, I think like around 13, 14.
Why?
Just too much hockey. I was practicing, even in the summertime, practicing every night, stuff like that. So I just had to make a commitment to one or the other. But my boys, like Tanner, he plays baseball in the summer.
Love it.
Plays hockey in the winter. When he starts getting old enough where, he's playing competitive, and, I'm sure there'll be, spring hockey and summer hockey and stuff like that. I'll still put him in baseball, or lacrosse or whatnot. I'll want him to always be active because I think it's really important to have your kids in sports, because if they're in sports doing something, it's not only good for their health, but it's keeping them out of trouble too. So I'll definitely have all my kids in sports all year around. But I don't know. And so I'll say that in one hand, and the other hand, I'll have to say that if you want to get really good at something, practice it.
You got to be obsessed.
You know what I mean? Like, there's no way that you're going to tell Connor McDavid or Sidney Crosby or Nate McKinnon that, take 4 months off in the summertime and go do lawn bowling. Like, bullshit. They're training. You see them at BMO. You see them on the fields. They're training. They're putting everything they got. And those are pros, granted, right? But how do you get to that level? You know what I mean? Like, you gotta put a lot of extra hours in to get to that level. You just playing your 7 months of hockey, and then the summertime, going to play soccer. That's something like, imagine if you stopped walking for 5 months. And then you got back up and you started walking again. Well, yeah, you'd feel a little weird at first, but then would you gradually pick it up? Sure, but you're not going to be as, an efficient walker as you were if you would have just been practicing for the previous 5 months, right? So I don't know. I'm trying not to sit on the fence on this one. So like I said, if Tanner were to say to me in like 3 years, Dad, like, I want to play hockey and I don't want to play baseball anymore, I'd be like, okay, and I'd find him hockey all year around to go through. I guess that's what I'm saying. But when he's young, you know what I mean? I don't mind him, especially when it's not competitive at his level. He's only 6, right? It's not like I've got the whip up in the stands and getting his ass going and shit like that, right? But yeah, I don't know. I see both sides of the argument. I do. For me, though, I was an all-in when I became serious. I was an all-in guy, and it paid off, right?
It's a good point. That's a great point. I'm on the side of playing the two sports, but I didn't go that far.
Right.
So,
I'm not against it, right? Obviously, my kids are playing two sports, right? So it's not that I'm against it. Yeah. I'm just saying, like, I think when there's a time, you have to make a decision. If your kid, and I think it would reflect on the kid, right? Like if Tanner came to me and be like, well, no, Dad, like, I want to play baseball up until like I'm 16 too or 17, I'd be like, shit, okay, cool. Yeah. Like the dude who just won the Heisman, college football, what's his name?
They had trouble pronouncing it when he won it, so don't worry about it.
I can't remember. I'm not a big Oklahoma or Alabama fan, so I really don't give two shits about anybody that plays there anyway. So, But yeah, he won the Heisman, and he's an unbelievable baseball player too. So he said that he'd like to try and play baseball.
Bo Jackson?
He'd like to try and play baseball and play football at the same time, right? So, wow, who knows?
I got to look this guy up.
I think his name is something Murray, Kean Murray, or something like that. I could be wrong. I can't remember. I know what he looks like. I think his last name is Murray. I'm not sure, but I'm a Clemson fan, so it doesn't matter. We're going to the national finals, hopefully. So
are you guys good this year?
Yep.
Say
we're
no
ranked.
more.
What are we ranked? Second? Ranked second overall.
Mm-hmm.
Not too shabby.
We're on an hour and a half, man. I know you're tired.
Yeah. If you got you got some more stuff to ask, we can go. We can keep going.
Who's the most famous person you've met?
The most famous person. Oh my goodness. Aside from hockey players?
No, because Wayne Gretzky is a select. Like, Wayne Gretzky's famous.
Yeah,
like,
I've never met him.
Hockey players are in. They count.
Famous. I don't know. I don't.
I just figure
Trevor Steinberg?
Oh yeah, that guy's. There was a sighting of him earlier today. Apparently, he was out. Apparently, he was walking around. Someone saw him.
Really?
Yeah.
Was Steiny walking? Did he have his pants on, or just walking around in his boxers?
No, someone said he had shorts on. He was walking around Spring Garden Road.
Jeez. He
was trying to hide from the public, but someone spotted him.
Yeah, that'd be Steiny. You can't miss him. He's like 6'9", probably like sounded like a motorboat walking by or something like that. I don't know.
I just why I asked that is because I just wonder when you're in the NHL, like who comes around in the dressing room after, because maybe someone's a fan of Austin Matthews. Austin Matthews, sure.
Right, or Scott Stevens or something.
Or Scott Stevens. Yeah, right. Sorry,
I didn't know
terrible
what you were going
name.
with that.
I was going with Scott Stevens.
Okay, there we go.
But I don't know. Just anyone like you ever?
Not that I can recall. No. I always joke around with my wife saying that I used to date Rachel McAdams because she's from Toronto.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So I think this was like, I don't know, a few years back when I first met her or whatever. Oh, it feels like a few years. It was a long time ago.
Feels like yesterday.
What's that?
Feels like yesterday.
Oh yeah, Jesus Christ. So we saw a movie or something like that, and I just like looked over and I was like, banged her, and she was like, "You did not," and I was like, "Yeah, I did." She's like, "How?" I'm like, "She's from Toronto. I'm from Toronto. Figure it out. Played in the NHL." Oh yeah. She's like, "You did not." I'm like, "No, I'm just kidding." So then I'm kind of like glaring at her, right, making her think I'm playing games with her, right, and a couple minutes goes by. She's like, "Did you really though?"
The whole time.
And I'm like, "No, I didn't. It's okay." She's like, "You did, didn't you?" I'm like, "Yeah, I did." She's like, "I don't know whether to believe you or not," right? So I had her going on that for a little while. So, but I told her it didn't happen. Now every time we see Rachel McAdams, I just go over to her and I go,
little wink,
bam, give her a little wink and be like, "There she is. There's my girl." But no. I met a figure skater, U.S. figure skater, when I was living out in Calgary. She went to the Olympics. Her name was Sasha Cohen. Kind of like the Borat character, but the female version didn't look like.
What's that guy's
character.
name?
Isn't it Sasha Baron Cohen or something like that?
Oh yeah, it is. Oh,
but her name was actually Sasha Cohen.
Oh yeah.
So no, I met her. Yeah, I don't think I've met any. It's not coming to me. I don't know. That's
fine. It's overrated meeting famous people.
Yeah.
Apparently, it's a huge letdown. It's like when you meet your idol. Apparently, it's a letdown every time.
Right. Okay.
Because they're just people. That's what I heard.
Okay. All right.
If I met Crosby, I'd probably.
What would you do if you met Sid?
Here's the part. I don't really want to meet. What would I do? I'd be weird. So that's why I don't want to meet him. I wouldn't know what to say. I would just freeze.
Right. Would you really?
Nah, probably not. But I just wouldn't know what to say.
Would you
to
stick
him.
a microphone up in his face like this? "Hey, Sid, talk."
Yeah.
Something like that.
No, I probably wouldn't. The respect I have for him, I wouldn't. I'd be like, "Hey,
but
do you
imagine
mind?"
like the followers you got to pounce on that. You'd have to.
Yeah, I guess I would. It's part of the business.
We should try and make that happen.
You don't have those connections, do you?
Connections and corrections, buddy.
Connections and corrections. No, I don't know. If I were ever to talk to Sid, it would not be about hockey. Because everyone knows everything about the guy in hockey.
Right.
There's nothing that needs to be said about Sid in hockey. You know everything from the time he played in Cole Harbour to now.
Right.
If I were to talk to him, I would be like, "Where's your favorite place to vacation? Well, why'd you build a house on Grand Lake?" Just things about his life. And that's one thing he doesn't like to do. So that's why I don't think it would be a good.
Have you ever had Sawyer Hanna on the podcast?
Yeah, he's been on. He came on once. It was a phone interview though, so that wasn't.
Oh,
I know.
He was here over the weekend.
Was he?
Yeah, he should have got in here.
Man, next time
I'm sewering him right now.
You're suing him.
I'm sewering him right. I'm sewering him. Give me a T-shirt. I'm gonna sue you. No.
I don't. Talk
Scotty's
to him.
a great guy. He's a good guy.
Do you talk to him, Sawyer, a lot?
Yeah.
Next time he comes back, I don't talk to him that much. But if you ever hear that he's coming, I'd love to get him in here. I know he's busy whenever he comes.
He is. Yeah, he's pretty well. He's not busy enough to go out for a few beers, but yeah, no, he's a great guy. He'd do that for sure. But he is traveling quite a bit too. So I just figured because he played for the Moose, right? And he's a East Coast Maritimes guy. He's starting his business up, and it's already started and all that. I figured, and he's a great personality too, right? Good looking dude.
Great looking dude.
Handsome dude. I like the little beard.
Does he still have the hair going?
He's got the flow going. He's
Ladies
got the
love
beard
that.
rock. Like I love him. Like if I was into that, I would be into that.
You want to hear a good story about Sawyer? First time I got called up to the Mooseheads, he was one of the first guys to come up to me and welcome me.
Great.
You know when you walk into a room, you're a little, okay, what's going on here?
Right.
Sawyer right up to me, "Justin, how you doing? Nice to meet you. Welcome. Your stall's right here."
Right.
Before the trainer.
Yeah. No, he's a solid dude. Oh man, We played in Quebec a couple years ago, and Scotty and I we have some really good stories, Scotty and I. But yeah, I don't know his status right now, so it's I'll let, if he wants to tell stories, I'll let him tell stories, but they got to be PG because I'm married, so.
You got the kids.
Yeah, and with kids. So
all right, let's wrap it up, man. I appreciate you coming on.
Yep.
Do you want to say hi to anyone?
Do I want to say hi to anyone?
Not anyone. You want to promote, like, I always feel like the last little bit, you do what you want. Just maybe you got an exam coming up. You want to shout out to your prof to let you ease up on the grades a little bit. Something. I don't even know.
Well, grad school, we don't have exams, right? So I just have a couple assignments due Thursday. I've been living in the library. So give a shout out to, I don't know, the library up on Lacewood there by the Canada Game Center. You know, I wish you'd stay open past 10 so I can, or past 9, and then the Starbucks closes at 10. So it's just too far of a drive to go to SMU and then be kicked out at 11 or 12. Or SMU 24 hours now.
Asking the wrong guy.
I don't know. No, man, I'm good. I just, glad you brought me on, and I guess everybody have a happy holidays. No drinking and driving. No smoking weed and driving.
Well, weed's legal now. Oh, driving, yeah.
No smoking weed and driving, right?
Yeah.
Nothing against having a Big Mac and driving, though.
Nope.
Everyone have a happy holidays. Be safe. And don't forget to undo your top button.
You should be in marketing.
Right.
All right, everyone. Thank you very much for coming on, or listening, to the High Button. Like we said on the podcast, there's a lot of shit out there on the internet. And the fact that you tuned in here with me at the High Button, I appreciate it. Speaking of social media, comment, like, subscribe to all of our social media outlets: Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, SoundCloud, iTunes, all that good stuff. Once again, Mike, thanks for coming on.
Did you say YouTube?
Sorry, YouTube.
YouTube. Get it there. I'm on the payroll now.
Well, now that I know you live close to me, we'll be hanging out all the time. I need a lift downtown later, so I'll let you know.
Sounds good.
All right, we're out. Thanks, guys.
You can sit in the car seats.
Perfect. See ya.
Thanks.